We are live here from Falcon Park for another matchup between the Auburn Doubledays and the Newark Pilots. Hi, everybody. I'm Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman as we prepare for a home matchup for the Auburn Doubledays, a rematch of Monday's contest between these two teams. Now, Luke, that game was an early one. It was 11 o'clock, just 7 innings. We get a full 9 innings of baseball for the fans at home today.
Yeah, I'm excited. You got to think, if you're Newark, you want a little bit of revenge. Originally, the Doubledays wanted revenge, losing 14-0 to Newark. We're able to get that revenge on Monday. Now, Newark, they had a game rained out yesterday, so they've been sitting on this game from Monday where they lost. You got to think they're ready to come back and get a W against the Doubledays.
For the Doubledays, what are going to be some of those keys to coming away with another dominant performance in this contest?
For them, they're going to need to drive in runners when they have them on base. Do not leave runners on base. Against Elmira last night, they left 15 runners on base in a game they lost 7-5. So they definitely had the opportunities throughout the entirety of the game. You got to drive in runners, especially if you have them in scoring position and less than 2 outs. You got to score those runners if you want to continue to stay in this game, and we know this Newark offense can get rolling at any point.
I completely agree with you there. One thing that I also saw was Auburn kind of took their foot off of the gas in that last matchup against Elmira, where they scored 4 runs in the first inning and then only won the rest of the game. Now, we saw against Newark on Monday, they scored 4 runs in the first inning and continued to supplement that throughout the game, build onto their lead. The key is going to be, even if the starting pitcher has a rough first inning, you can't just get complacent. You have to have that hunger throughout the full 7 to 9 innings of baseball.
Absolutely, and you got to think the bullpen's got to be well rested for Auburn. Owen Burchard and Tyler Vivacca were the only two pitchers that pitched last night, while Wyatt Ernest and Eric Kornizowski were the only two pitchers that pitched against Newark on Monday. So you got to think there's a lot of arms in the bullpen that will be available if needed tonight. So if you're able to get a lead, you can help protect it, and you don't have to hold any of your bullpen arms back.
Kicking off things for the Doubledays will be Colin Castile on the mound in his third appearance as an Auburn Doubleday. He's going to be going against Paulie Goodness, the leadoff batter for this Newark Pilots squad, as the first pitch is underway, and that will just miss outside for ball one.
Castile, he actually started a game on June 6th against Newark. That was the game they tied, went 5 innings and only gave up 1 run in that outing. So very successful, very good outing. Because that one's going to be a ball. That game tied at 6-6, so only giving up one of the 6 runs. You got to say that's a successful start for Castile. Also had 4 strikeouts.
Certainly was a great game for Castile in that one. He's going to look to replicate that success. Hasn't started off strong, though. 3-0 count against Goodness early. Paulie Goodness did not play in that matchup against the Doubledays on Monday. That one a 7 inning contest. School day is that one will be in for strike one. Just caught the inside part of the plate to avoid the walk.
Fun day at the ballpark on Monday. 11 o'clock start. Kids here.
Yeah,
Perfect day.
had a very raucous fan base. You could hear the grandstands just roaring throughout the game as Goodness will take his base. That's a 5-pitch walk for Castile. That brings up Dean Spotto, the second baseman out of Belmont University. Spotto, one of the best hitters on this Newark squad, batting .538 on the season, .611 on base percentage. He's known to be able to get his balls in play, as that one patiently avoided for ball one.
Had 2 hits on Monday against the Doubledays, including stolen base later in the game once he got on base.
Spotto, a very patient batter, and he was one of the lone bright spots, as you mentioned, in that game on Monday. That one going to be missed by the first baseman in Albright, and Goodness will take his base on the wild throw over to first.
Yeah, just unforced errors. Pickoff attempt was short arm to the first baseman, who Albright was going to have a tough job trying to pick that one. As Goodness immediately was able to get over to second with really no and no trouble at all. Something you don't want to see from Auburn right there. To count 1-0. Pitch is going to be hit on the ground to shortstop. Going to third. They have the runner in a pickle. We're going to see as the third baseman is going to go back to second.
A
Sullivan has the ball
pickle.
now at short.
Oh, I thought he got him there, but he will be out at the plate. Great play there by the Doubledays to recover from the early deficit, and it was replicate of the Sandlot right there, the movie where we saw a pickle happening, and the Doubledays coming out on the positive side of that. Newark still has a runner in scoring position. We see Dean Spano on second base, but one out on the board. Huge play for the Doubledays in order to prevent any more damage from being done early on without an out on the board.
Originally, I thought Sullivan tagged. That one's in there for a strike. Goodness. And then he went back to third, but the field umpire said, hey, he was out of the base path anyway, so he was going to be out. Locks in an out for the Doubledays, but like you mentioned, still a runner on second they're going to have to deal with. That pitch is going to be high for a ball. Count now 1-1.
1-1 count. That's Noah Brooks, the catcher from Siena, at the plate. The righty batter going against the right-handed pitcher in Castile. That's a massive lead from Spano there at second base. Maybe getting in the head of Castile. It's obviously tough when you have a guy behind you who's dancing around there in the infield. 2-1 count on the board. That pitch comes in, whacked down the left field line for a 2-2 count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Castile been hovering around the mid-80s on his fastball today. Brooks, one of the better hitters on this Newark Pilots squad. Generally not the starting catcher, but has been known to come in there and make his presence felt at the plate, as that pitch will be in the dirt to load up the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on the board, 1 runner in scoring position.
Big spot here early in this game, full count. If you remember in the Monday game, Newark got out to an early 3-0 lead. The offense came back for the Doubledays in the bottom part of the inning.
And that will be the second walk of the night for Castile, as Brooks will take his base, bringing up Christian Butera, the third baseman, cleanup hitter, with 2 runners on, just 1 out. However, the walk does bring the double play, the force out, back into the equation. With runners on first and second, it's a force out at any base other than home plate.
And well, on Monday, the Doubledays were able to mount a comeback. Certainly, you do not want to fall behind early in this game, especially against the Pilots.
It's just not a recipe for success at all. The Doubledays generally are more of a positive team when they get that early lead. Obviously, that hasn't proven true recently, as with the loss to Elmira, but that's a trend that normally works in the Doubledays' favor when they curry that early lead.
100%.
Butera out of Brown University. That one whacked into shallow right center and will narrowly get past the center fielder. That's Meyer, unable to make the play. That's going to be multiple runs scored for the Newark Pilots. 2 runs cross the plate, and Butera at third base with ease. Not the start that Colin Castile was looking for in this outing. That brings up Nick DiGiacomo, the designated hitter, with a runner on third. Still just 1 out on the board. Wouldn't be surprised to see either a bunt or a sacrifice fly here from DiGiacomo.
Yeah, Meyer, wow, he got to that ball that ball fell right in front of him, was falling fast, but center field, he was able to track that ball, just got down in front of him in half a second before he was able to get there.
And Butera really showing off his hitting prowess with that one. This is a guy who knows how to get on base with ease. He led all Ivy League rookies with a .303 batting average last season. Named Ivy League Rookie of the Week multiple times. Someone who has proven what he could do at the Division I level, and now proving what he could do here at the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. That one outside for the third ball of the at-bat. Castile looking to avoid his third walk of the outing. So, Luke, when you're a pitcher, falling behind in counts this consistently early on as he walks the batter into Giacomo right there, as a pitcher, what are some of the struggles that come along with that, and how should Castile be focused on breaking out of these struggles?
I like what we're seeing now. We're going to see a pitching mound visit. Excuse me. I like that. I think that'll be able to break up the rhythm. Right now, Castile, he's just working. He needs to slow everything down. The game's going extremely fast for him at the moment. I think being able, I was going to say, maybe the catcher go out, talk to him, just slow everything down, slow the heartbeat, find your own rhythm. Right now, he's playing at Newark's rhythm. Newark feels like they're in control while they're in the box. Get back to Castile being, hey, I'm on the mound. I'm the one dictating where the pitches go. Let me slow everything down. I think this is the right move going out and just talking to him on the mound here.
Yeah, and the Doubledays have their hands tied when it comes to they can't take Castile out of the game early on, barring a really bad next inning or so. It would be a shocker if they took him out because you don't have Burchard available to pitch, you don't have Heilman available to pitch. Those are your two guys you can consistently count on to make it a solid 5, 6 innings. We're going to see Castile at the very minimum, probably 3 innings. So he really needs to step up his game from here on out.
I like the stuff when he's been able to find over the plate. He's had good stuff as the runner's on the move.
The throw down there does not get there in time. DeCesare down to Sullivan. Was a good attempt there, good enough to where we didn't even see an attempt over at home plate. Christian Butera still stuck on third, but that's Nick DiGiacomo over there on second now. So 2 runners in scoring position, still just 1 out on the board. The double play now out of the equation for Auburn, as that went way inside for the first ball of the at-bat.
It was a good throw by DeCesare right there. It was close play at second. Giacomo just showed the speed there. Now here for Castile, as you mentioned, double play out of the equation. This is really where he's going to have to really lock in this inning if he's going to try and find his way out of trouble.
That one going to be hit short to the pitcher. The play could be made at home, and it is a great play there. The flip from Castile to DeCesare to get the second out of the inning. A little bit of greediness there from Butera, and that's could potentially end up costing this Newark team a run. Still runners on the corners with now Jacob Paletto up to bat for this Newark squad.
That's a bang play at the play, and that's huge. Castile is able to gather that ball and toss it into the catcher DeCesare, who great job adjusting that. It wasn't a perfect toss to him, but he was able to adjust and apply the tag. Now that's the second out of the inning. That's a huge out. Now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel right here if you're Castile.
You have to wonder what Newark head coach Marcus Smith was chatting about with the umpire right there. Could potentially be concerns about DeCesare blocking the plate on that attempt, but obviously the umpire saw no faults with how DeCesare played it. Leto up to bat for the Newark Pilots with runners on the corners, as that one misses the plate for ball one. Leto, the left fielder out of Bossier Parish Community College, gets in from time to time. I'd say in every other game starter for this Newark squad. That pitch comes in, swung on, chopped down the right side for a 1-1 count to even it up.
He actually pitched an inning against Auburn on Monday, so you can see him on the mound as well sometimes.
A very versatile player, to say the least.
We have a few like that on Auburn. We can see in the field Tyler Vivacqua at second base. We've seen him on the mound a few times already this season, so you will see these guys on the mound as well in the field.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a few different Auburn infielders getting in the game later for this Doubleday squad, whether it's Vivacqua or Sullivan, both of whom could definitely be pitching later on in the game, especially if Castile's start continues to be shaky as it has been so far in the first inning. But nevertheless, if Castile's able to get out of this inning with just 2 runs given up, that's a huge get for the young pitcher as there's a strike there, looking strike to even up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs on the board. A big pitch coming up here for Castile against Paletto.
Again, I've liked Castile's stuff when he's been able to find the plate. He has nice stuff. Let's see if he can dial in with 2 strikes.
It's really just been those walks as that one fouled off behind home plate. The walks have really been the bane of this performance from Castile. His control has just been a little shaky. He hasn't been able to find the plate early in at-bats. He's fallen behind in the counts, and that's what's led to either good hits and good contact from this Newark squad, or walks where Castile just isn't able to come back from the early deficits that he sets himself up for. As that one chopped over to Vivacqua. Vivacqua is going to flip it over there to Caden Albright for the final out of the inning. That's Castile escaping with just 2 runs given up as we're going to head into the bottom of the first. Auburn trailing early, but it could have been a lot worse. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Tyler Vivacqua going to be kicking things off for the Auburn Doubledays here in the bottom of the first inning. Vivacqua ended the top of the first with a great play, flipping it over from second base to first to let the Doubledays escape with just 2 runs given up in the top of the first. That first pitch in there for strike 1. Pitching for the Newark Pilots, it's going to be Jake O'Connor, the right-handed pitcher out of Riviera University, as his second pitch misses high for ball 1. O'Connor has a pretty solid arsenal of pitches, with his fastballs generally reaching the low 80s, breaking balls in the low 70s. That would hit deep into right field. That's way over the head of the right fielder in Wensley. We're looking at a stand-up triple potentially. Oh, he's going to have to slide for it. And, oh, that goes behind him. A great play there by the pitcher in O'Connor to be the backstop, prevent any more damage from happening. But the wild throw there allows Vivacqua to be safe at third base for the triple. That brings Josh Thompson, the extra hitter, up to bat for Auburn with a runner quickly in scoring position.
Vivacqua with that speed, there was no doubt he was thinking 3 immediately out of the box, got a hold of that ball. And with his speed, he was rounding second, knowing he was going 3.
Yeah, Wensley looked like he misread that slightly. Maybe he thought he had a little bit more of a chance to get it than he actually did, because he played that somewhat shallowly. The ball went way over his head, and that allowed Vivacqua to, he saw that all the action go down in right field, and he knew he was making a play for that, as that one's fouled off down the right side. 1-1 count here for Josh Thompson, who, if he gets on base, he's a dangerous player with his legs. We saw it on Monday. He was terrorizing Newark with what he could do on the bases with his base running. As that pitch comes in, misses the plate for ball 2. That one was certainly close, right on the edge of the strike zone. Lefty batter going against the righty pitcher. That one going to be way outside for ball 3. And a walk here, basically worst case scenario for this Newark squad, because you put runners on the corners with a guy that you really don't want on base still having an open plate in front of him. That pitch will come in and swung on. That's Thompson. Looks like he was going to find the gap, but a bit too much of a blooper. However, it will score a run for Auburn. The Doubledays get their first run of the game with the RBI ground out from Thompson, bringing Adam Sullivan, arguably the best player, the best hitter on this Auburn Doubledays team, up to bat with no runners on base. Just one out on the board. Sullivan, the RBI king, he's been instrumental to the Doubledays' undefeated record at home. In every game prior to that Monday home game in which he didn't play, he has had multiple RBIs, known to be able to use A, his power, and B, his consistency to get on base and get runners home.
And when he gets on base, he also uses his speed, can steal a base with no problem.
I'd say Sullivan, definitely the most well-rounded player that we've seen on the Auburn Doubledays. Again, he could come out of the dugout potentially today, or out of the bullpen, and pitch. That's how versatile of a player he is. However, Sullivan does fall behind early in this pitch count, down 0-2. That one comes in, going to be outside for the first ball of the at-bat.
Good job, Auburn. Again, we mentioned in that Monday game, Auburn gave up 3 runs the opening half of the first inning. Gave up 2 here, able to respond. Let's see if they can add more as Sullivan gets into that one.
That one's going to be hit into shallow right center field for the easy single. A beautiful blooper there from Adam Sullivan to get on base. And let's see if Sullivan can do some damage with his legs. We haven't seen Auburn have the chance to test Noah Brooks yet, the catcher for Newark. Wouldn't surprise me to see Sullivan try to take second here, as that's Anthony DeCesare, the catcher, up to bat for the Auburn Doubledays. A fairly strong lead there from Sullivan over at first, as the pitch is there for a called strike one.
Sullivan had a steal last night against Elmira, so again, he is an immediate threat when he's on base to steal the next base, excuse me.
It's an 0-1 count with one out on the board. That one grounded down to the third baseman, and the throw made over there. The hesitation from Butera, thinks about throwing it over to second, instead gets it over to Jonathan Decker at first for the out, showing the excellent arm strength at third base, bringing up Sam Meyer with one runner on. That's still Adam Sullivan there on second base. Meyer has the chance to tie this one up if he gets a base hit.
Sullivan's speed wasn't able to steal a base, but it was able to break up a potential inning-ending double play as that ball's outside for ball 1. His ability to get over to second, quickly deterred the third baseman to go into second. Said, I'm going to just go to first to get the safe out, only 1 out. So still an opportunity for Auburn to tie this game here in the bottom of the first.
As that pitch comes in, that's a deep hit there. That's the left fielder in Paletto tracking it, and the easy last out of the inning. Meyer barreled the ball, hit it far, but didn't have enough speed on that to outrun Paletto. The Doubledays got a run back, still trail by 1 as we head into the top of the second inning. We're back here in the top of the second inning as the Auburn Doubledays trail 2-1 early. And that's going to be Jonathan Decker stepping up to bat for the Newark Pilots. Castile looking for a bounce back inning. He walked 3, gave up 2 runs in that first. Faced 7 batters. And, when you walk 3 out of the 7 batters you face, that's not a great sign. But if he can bounce back in this inning, go 1, 2, 3, I'd be very impressed, and I'd look to see Castile potentially last longer than he might have been expected to.
Yeah, if you want to look at it from a half glass full from that inning, hey, he was doing it to himself. The 3 walks, while that one's inside for ball number 3. The Pilots only had 1 hit in that inning, so Castile probably looked at himself in the dugout, said, hey, if I can find my location, I have the stuff to put these guys away. Let me just find this location, dial in, and we can get rolling.
Hasn't been able to find that location yet in this at bat as he finally gets one in the strike zone for strike 1. 3-1 count. First 3 balls of the at bat, first 3 pitches of the at bat were all balls. As that one again misses the strike zone. He has not been able to find his locations, like the Bermuda Triangle out there. Just can't seem to find that right spot. And now that's a runner on first base, bringing up Anthony Hector to the plate.
Yeah, tough to begin the inning with a walk. Castile's going to have to work around this, similar to the last inning. Start the game with a 5-pitch walk, doing it here in the second inning.
And if you're Auburn manager Matthew Petrosi, you just can't be happy with that start to the inning after a very wild first. You had to come out there and you had to be confident, be throwing your pitches, getting them over the plate. That's not what we saw there from Castile in that first at bat. He has the chance with these last 2 batters in the Newark order to prove himself, prove that he can get batters out. But that one's going to be ripped into shallow right field. That'll bounce one time. Oh, and an error there. Can't have that from the right fielder in Brendan Smith. That'll let both Newark runners advance. So it's going to be 2 runners in scoring position. A crucial error there for Smith after we saw Newark's runner in Decker kind of get frozen between first and second. It looked like Smith had the chance to make that play, and Smith just got a bit too eager to make that throw over to second, try to nab Hector out, or try to nab Decker out, and now we see Decker and Hector both on base in scoring position.
Yeah, Decker had to freeze in between, didn't know if Smith was going to catch that ball in right field. Smith played it well originally, but that ball took a bounce. He was not able to scoop it off the ground. That one got past him, and easily Decker was going to go to third while Hector was going to go to second. Now it really hurts Castile. You hope the defense could help him out, having a tough time with his location. Not the case right there.
That will be cracked over to Vivacqua, who ended the last inning. He'll make the play there, throwing it over to Albright, but another run will score for the Newark Pilots. 2 runners still on base, first and third, in a 3-1 lead for Newark. That brings the top of the order back around for Newark. Paulie Goodness, who walked in his first at-bat of the night, steps back up to the plate. Just the runner on third, nobody on first. That pitch comes in for strike 1 of the at-bat. We haven't really seen Castile get too low on his pitch speed this game. That one of his first of the night to dip into the 60s. That one smacked right in between the shortstop and the second baseman for another easy single. That's Goodness getting his first hit of the night and scoring another run for Newark. 2 consecutive innings of 2-run ball for the Pilots, and Castile just has been struggling to start this night.
Yeah, tough start for Castile in this game. Gonna have to hunker down in this inning. Leave it at 2. Obviously, a runner at first base right now. You want to think Goodness might be on the move here soon. He's gonna pick off back to first. The ball's gonna get away from Albright. He's gonna retrieve it, so Goodness can't move forward. You gotta find a way to get out of this inning here. Obviously, your defense wasn't able to help you too much at the top of the second here. Pitcher gonna have to work around that. Try and find a way to get Newark out of this inning.
There are only so many excuses you can make, and when you're walking this many batters, it's just a bad sign, and you're giving up this many hits. Sure, should Smith have made that play in right field? Yeah, he probably should have, but you can't be relying on your supporting cast to be playing a flawless game. Mistakes happen in the outfield, and as a pitcher, you have to be able to overcome that. 2-run innings and back-to-back outings are not good for this Castile start. There's that one thrown down to second base, and it looked like Goodness might have slipped off the bag, but the tag not able to be made in time by Vivacqua. So that's a stolen base for Goodness, and Spotto now has a runner in scoring position while he's up at the plate.
Seen it multiple times already on this turf where opposing runners will just slide and continue to slide. So Vivacqua keeping the tag on. So Goodness able to stay on as that one's going to be low for ball number 1. Count now 1-2. Spotto.
This 1-2 count. Finally, a good sign for Castile. Let's see if he can capitalize. Still looking for his first strikeout of the game. As that one cracked out over to third base. That's Jed Steng Tregear making the easy play there. A nice routine 5-3 putout to get the Doubledays second out of the inning. Christian Butera, who had a stand-up triple in the first inning, comes back up to the plate with the chance to do even more damage. Another runner in scoring position for this squad. Sorry, it's Noah Brooks stepping up to the plate for the Newark Pilots. He walked in his first at-bat, as that one's a strike one for the first pitch of the at-bat.
Good swing and a miss right there from Castile. That's what you want to see in this. Again, he has the stuff to make Newark miss. Just got to locate it here.
Hasn't been able to locate it so far, as that one misses the plate for ball 1. As I mentioned the first time around, Noah Brooks has the potential to be able to put balls in play and even get those extra base hits. It's just he hasn't been able to do that too much for Newark this season. Found more success in the regular season for Siena College, where he plays Division I baseball. As we see Castile rotating through his pitches. Goes for that one there. Big swing and a big miss from Brooks. Not able to make contact there, as it's now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on the board. 80 miles per hour there on the pitch from Castile. Giving a strong look back there to second base, as that was nearly a swing from Brooks. Didn't go all the way around, so it's a full count. This is a big pitch from Castile. Can he manage to get his first strikeout of the night? A swing and a miss would be desperately needed for Castile, who's given up too much contact through just 2 innings. That one, oh, not even close to the plate. In fact, it hits Noah Brooks right in the shoulder, putting runners on first and second and bringing up Christian Butera, who, as I already mentioned, he had a triple in his first at-bat. If he could get another even extra base hit, single or a double, both devastating for Castile and the Doubledays.
Yeah, huge at-bat here in the second inning. 2 outs. Doubledays need to find a way to get out of this inning without any more damage. Terra's not the guy you want to see at the plate. Let's see if Castile can work around him.
And a simple walk there against Brooks would have been devastating, but not nearly as bad as completely missing the plate and even striking Brooks in the shoulder. That just has to be a demoralizing pitch there from Castile. As that one swung on, fouled behind him for the first strike of the at-bat. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs on the board.
One thing about pitchers, and especially starting pitchers, got to have short-term memory. Got to say, hey, that was the last at-bat. Got to keep moving, as he's trying to do against Butera right here. Again, Doubledays need to find a way to get out of this inning. Only giving up 2.
Unfortunately, it's turning into long-term memory for Castile, though he's able to get that second strike of the at-bat. Catches the batter in Butera looking, bringing up just a huge pitch right here. 1-2 count. Looking for Castile to throw a breaking ball off the plate here, and he gets a swing there from Butera, who fouls it off. After Butera, it's DiGiacomo and Wensley, who have both proven in prior games that they can put balls in play. So Castile certainly wants to get out of this at-bat and out of the inning. That one low in the dirt for ball 2. Count evened up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Each pitch coming in this at-bat is a big one. Castile, as the starting pitcher, can't afford to be giving up even more runs after already giving up 4 through just 2 innings, as that pitch in the dirt gets away from De Cesare slightly. That's going to load up the count 3-2. A walk here could turn things ugly for Castile. Loading the bases with Nick DiGiacomo up to bat, the designated hitter, would be rough. Castile is going to have to try to get Butera out in some way here. As both runners go, and to no avail, as that one's fouled off behind home plate. That's Paulie Goodness over there on second base. He was halfway to third by the time the pitch was thrown.
Runners on the move, obviously. 3-2, 2 outs. So play at the plate, it's either going to be walk, strikeout, or ball in play. So they're going to get a head start here in case it is a ball in play. Try and come around, score.
As the pitch comes in, and strike 3. The great pitch there from Castile catches Butera looking, and that will send the Doubledays into the bottom of the second, still with the 4-1 lead. But just like the top of the first, it could have been a lot worse. So we'll head into the bottom of the second here on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network. We're back here in the bottom of the second inning, and it's Jed Stang-Tregear up to bat for the Auburn Doubledays as they trail 4-1 to the Newark Pilots. Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman, as the Doubledays looking to mount a comeback against the Newark Pilots for the second straight time. Auburn fell behind early in that game on Monday and responded quickly with vengeance. This game they responded in the first inning, but not quite with that same bravado. Just 1 run in the first. Looking to build on that here in the second is the first pitch in there for strike 1. The second pitch swung on by Stang-Tregear and fouled off to the left side.
For Jake O'Connor, the starting pitcher for Newark, this is only his second appearance this season. Started a game back on June 4th. Only went 3 innings in that game, giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. Walked 3 and struck out 5. So see what Auburn can do against him as that one's dropping.
A beautiful blooper there from Stang-Tregear to give the Doubledays yet another hit. They've been able to put the balls in play early on in this game. We saw a triple from Tyler Vivacqua, a single from Adam Sullivan. 1 run scored in the first inning, and the momentum carrying over here in the second as Troy Reeder steps up to bat for Auburn with a runner on first base.
Reeder last night had a hit and 2 walks against Elmira. We can do in the batter's box here against O'Connor.
As that one will be in there for strike one. 3 hits apiece for both the Doubledays and the Pilots. The problem is the Doubledays already have 2 errors, and we talk about it all the time. These avoidable errors are what ends up killing teams in these games between evenly matched opponents. As that one's outside for ball 1.
Yeah, the errors, you just shooting yourself in the foot, really, just putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And for Auburn, you can't do that. Newark will take advantage of those errors.
And it's not just the errors in the field that show up on the scoreboard. It's also walking multiple batters in a row, like we saw from Castile early on. Those are the errors that might not show up on the scoreboard, but are just as impactful in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely. Now it's Auburn's turn to try and work O'Connor here. They've been able to work good at bats in all of their home games here on the road last night. Struck out 12 times against Elmira, so for Auburn, need to get back in that habit of working long counts and getting in hitters counts to take advantage.
That pitch in there for strike 3, the beautiful breaking ball, 68 miles per hour from O'Connor for the strikeout. That brings up Brendan Smith with another. There is a runner on base. You still have Stang Tregear on first, but a great at-bat for O'Connor against Troy Reeder, the designated hitter out of Notre Dame. Auburn was really looking for a good at-bat from the Division I hitters. That one hit into shallow, very shallow right center, and the easy play will be made there by the second baseman, Dean Spada, for the second out of the inning.
Immediately, the infield fly was called by infield umpire. Ball just shallowly, just outside the infield. So infield fly was in effect right there. Tommy Kerwin.
Kerwin with 2 outs on the board. As that pitch swung on and chopped foul down the left side. Two outs on the board, 0-1 count for Kerwin. Kerwin, the local kid out of Oswego High School. 1-1 count. Kerwin going to Wofford College next year. Multiple local kids in a row for this Auburn squad. That one way inside nabs Kerwin. So the Oswego native will take his base. And now the Cortland native, Caden Albright, stepping up to bat, the final hitter in the Doubledays order with 2 runners on base. Albright, known for his mix of power and his ability to spread the ball around the field. Let's see what he could do here. A big spot. The tying run is Albright at home. As that one swung on and missed. A big swing there from Albright. Not able to catch the 79 mile per hour pitch from O'Connor.
Definitely took a swing like he was trying to tie the game out right there.
He knows that he can do it. That pitch comes in, and that one's chopped into shallow left center, and the center fielder makes the play with ease. That's Paulie Goodness, who has shown off his ability to impress at the plate, now impressing there in the outfield. He'll send the game into the top of the third inning. We'll be back shortly with the Auburn Doubledays trailing 4-1. We're live here at Falcon Park in the top of the third inning, and Doubledays manager Matthew Petrosi has decided, despite Colin Castile, the starting pitcher, despite his ability to get out of innings with just 2 runs apiece, enough is enough. After giving up 4 runs in the first 2 innings, it's now going to be Eston Elko taking the mound for the Auburn Doubledays. Auburn switches it up a little bit, switching from the righty to the lefty, as the southpaw forces Nick DiGiacomo, the designated hitter, out of Franklin and Marshall to foul off the first pitch. As that pitch will miss the strike zone for ball one.
Elko, this will be only his second appearance this season. Pitched June 5th against Geneva in the home opener. That one's fouled straight back against the Red Wings. Closed the game, 10-4 win, so it was not a save opportunity, but went 2 innings, gave up 2 runs, only one of them earned, walked 2, and struck out 1 in his only appearance so far this season.
And Elko was a little rusty for that game, so despite it not being the best outing of his career, surely, he still looked solid out there, and you can definitely use that game as a building block to what he can do out there on the mound today. Petrosi is certainly looking at Elko to give him a solid 2 to 3 innings of work at the very minimum, as it's now a full count.
Elko was a starter in high school, so hopefully, like you mentioned, he can give Auburn some innings here, so they don't have to turn it to their bullpen quickly. Hopefully 3, maybe 4 innings, but not a good start. He's going to start this inning with a walk.
All 3 innings have started with a walk for the Newark Pilots.
Something you want to avoid. Leadoff walk to start an inning, just not a recipe for success for Auburn.
DiGiacomo on first and Casey Wensley up to bat. The lefty batter versus the lefty pitcher.
Giacomo had a steal in that first, so beware.
The pickoff attempt made. That's Elko, who, being a southpaw, has an advantage on any runner at first trying to take second, just has a better vantage point. That's why he was able to freeze DiGiacomo, make him stay a bit closer to that first base side, as that's a bunt that's just too strong, and a great play from Caden Albright to throw it over to Sullivan at second base for the fielder's choice. I like the effort there from Casey Wensley, just the execution very poor, got the bunt down, but it was just too hot, and allowed Albright to make the easy play from first to second.
Yeah, the bunt kind of felt like just like your regular grounder, and Albright immediately went to second with a smart play to get the lead runner.
As that one's going to be hit, and a diving play made. A great play there by the right fielder, Brendan Smith. A bit of redemption after that second inning error that ended up getting multiple runs across. Now making a great diving play for the second out of the inning.
What a catch by Smith right there. Immediately read that ball, got a jump on it, dove out like Superman on his stomach to get to that ball. Huge second out here in this inning.
That brings Jonathan Decker up to the plate for the Newark Pilots. With 1 runner on base. Elko already doing what Castile couldn't and starting inning strong. Is that one going to be a steal attempt? And the steal is good. Oh, he came off the base. Wow. The steal attempt from Wensley there, and it looked like he had it, but just comes off the base, can't keep his hand pressed on. That's Pilots manager Marcus Smith not too happy with Wensley after that one. Wensley looked like he had it with ease. The throw from DeCesare was very late, but a great play there by Sullivan to stay vigilant and still get the out. We'll head into the bottom of the third with Auburn still trailing 4-1. We're back here in the bottom of the third inning as the Doubledays start showing some signs of life. A great inning there with new pitcher Eston Elko in the top of the third. And now in the bottom of the third, the top of the Doubledays order comes up. Tyler Vivacqua kicking things off. He had a triple in his first at-bat to start the game off for the Doubledays. Now looking to add on to that, still going against Jake O'Connor out there on the mound for Newark as that pitch in there for strike one. Vivacqua, in his first season as an Auburn Doubleday, has certainly earned his spot early on in the order. His ability to both get on base consistently as well as show his speed with his legs has earned him a spot as the leadoff batter in this game.
Yeah, I like Vivacqua a lot in that leadoff position. Someone that can hit well, that one, and show speed, whether legging out a triple or if he does get on first, has a good eye. If he walks, he can steal second, no doubt about it.
That one swung on, going to be hit down to first base. The pitcher, O'Connor, throws it over to the first baseman in Decker, and Vivacqua will be out. It was a close play there. Vivacqua chatting with the field umpire, but he's going to head on over to the dugout as Josh Thompson steps up to the plate. We talked about Vivacqua's speed. I think Thompson might not be as fast as Vivacqua necessarily, but runs the bases smarter than anyone else on this team. That 1-2 punch to kick off any game for Auburn is just a great combo to have before you get to the power hitters in Adam Sullivan and Anthony DeCesare.
I was just about to say that you have those two to start the lineup, and then you have someone like Adam Sullivan in the 3-hole, Anthony DeCesare in the 4-hole. Then you got a guy tonight, Troy Reeder, in the 7th hole, who usually is in that 4 to 5 range. It can be a stacked lineup on any single night.
Yeah, Reeder, at least in the home games that we've been at, hasn't been the most consistent of hitters, but when he's able to put his barrel on the ball, it goes far. As that first pitch misses the strike zone for ball one, and the second pitch, Deja Vu, also misses the strike zone. Thompson gets ahead in the count 2-0. And I feel like we say it every time Thompson comes up to bat, but he's just someone that this Newark team doesn't want to see on the bases. Is that one in there for strike one? If he gets on first, you can almost instantly pencil him in to get over to second. Is that one going to be another pitch right down the middle for strike two? Thompson's thought about going after both of those, but deciding to be patient, keeps waiting for that right pitch that he's going to bounce on.
Good bounce back from O'Connor, originally 2-0 down.
That one swung on and missed. He thought that was his pitch. A good swing there from Thompson, but just can't make contact. A great pitch there from O'Connor to get Thompson swinging and missing. Now Sullivan stepping up to bat for Auburn. He had a single in his first go around. O'Connor nearing 40 pitches on his outing through nearly 3 full innings, as that one going to be hit easily over to the second baseman in Spotto, who gets it over to Decker for the final out of the inning. A quick 1-2-3 for O'Connor against Auburn. We'll head into the fourth with Newark still holding on to that 4-1 lead. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Elko retakes the mound here for the Auburn Doubledays in the top of the fourth inning. He had a fantastic outing there to kick off the third after Castile washed out in the first two innings. Elko trying to break the Doubleday streak of walking the first batter in each inning as that one fouled off and just out of the reach of Caden Albright. Fouled off for strike one.
Jonathan Decker at bat. He was at bat when the inning ended because of Casey Wensley being caught stealing, so of course he will start the inning in the batter's box for Newark here.
Decker walked in his first at bat, looking to keep that trend going. Is that one a ball with big break there, but can't find the strike zone, just a bit too high. 70-mile-per-hour breaking ball from Eston Elko. That one swung on and whipped a big swing there from Decker, but can't make contact. Notice we got a lot of alliteration with these Doubledays pitcher. Colin Castile, 2 C's. Eston Elko, 2 E's.
I didn't even notice that. That's a good point.
As that one hits the strike zone. The umpire thought about it for a second and decided it was a punch out. A great pitch there from Eston Elko to end the at-bat. That brings up the shortstop, Anthony Hector, who singled in his first go-around, looking to repeat what he did in his first at-bat.
Elko showing his speed on the fastball, 85 and 86 on his last two pitches. That one 85 out of the zone. Definitely can get up there with the fastball.
Elko has more of a cannon than we were used to seeing from Castile. Castile generally on his fast pitches only reach the low 80s. Elko reaches those mid 80s with ease. Is that one a strike there? 1-1 count, 1 out on the board. That pitch barely misses the strike zone. 2-1 count. Hector, not the most powerful hitter, but patient and waits for the right pitch. And when he pounces, you can generally count on him to get that safe, consistent single. Known for his bloopers over in Newark. That one chopped foul down the left side. Count now full here, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Auburn hasn't yet had just a 3-batter inning. Elko looking to be the first to do so this game. As a late time called there from Hector, the pitch still thrown by Elko, but just kind of a practice pitch there, getting the reps in.
Was already deep in the windup, ready to throw. Just was going to complete the motion for Elko, as that one didn't count.
I feel once you're that deep in, you might as well just do it, as that's going to be a walk. Hector tosses his bat over to the dugout, and the Doubledays tradition of walking a batter in every inning continues. It might not have been the first batter in this inning, but there still is a walk nevertheless, as the final batter in the Pilots lineup comes up to the plate. That's Louis Boussard, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Boussard, the extra hitter in this contest out of Abilene Christian. Elko's looked confident throughout his outing, something that Castile really wasn't displaying too much of. It seemed like Castile was kind of second-guessing his pitches, going through the motions, where we've seen Elko be confident in his pitches and confident in the pitch calls from De Cesare. Is that one in there for strike one?
Took a little bit off of that one. 81 miles per hour, was able to find the strike zone. Big pitch there to be 2-1 opposed to being 3-1 in the count.
That one way outside for ball 3. Elko falling behind in these pitch counts. Something that he didn't do in his first inning around. I'd like to see him show his comeback abilities here. That one going to be hit. That's a ball. Great play from Vivacqua to Sullivan to Albright for the inning-ending double play. great all around from the Doubledays infield to send the Pilots packing into the bottom of the fourth. We'll be back. Here's Auburn trails 4-1. After a beautiful double play from the Auburn Doubledays to end the top of the fourth, we're back here in the bottom of the inning. Anthony DeCesare kicking things off for the Doubledays. As it's been quiet for Auburn these past few innings at the plate, they haven't gotten a run across since that first inning score. DeCesare up at the plate. He grounded out in his first at bat. First pitch there is a walk.
Quickly, I just want to go back to that double play that end the inning. Talk about a smooth play. Vivacqua fielding with the glove, tossing it to Sullivan with the glove as well, as that one's in there for strike number one. That's one thing you want to see early in the season. The chemistry between the middle infielders already there. We're about 7 games into the season. You like to see that.
That one's crushed into deep left field. And the play able to be made bounces off the wall, but that's the left fielder Jacob Paletto coming down with it. A great try from DeCesare, really barreled that one deep, but just can't get away from Paletto. That brings up Sam Meyer up to the plate. And going back to that double play, because we kind of had our conversation interrupted there, I like to see that early chemistry from Vivacqua and Sullivan. I think we're going to be seeing them there throughout the season. Sullivan, obviously the mainstay at short. Vivacqua, though, has really flashed his glove that game. Is that one way behind Sam Meyer?
He immediately
behind the back.
O'Connor immediately looked at his hand like, whoa, that slipped out of his hand. Obviously, no malicious intent with that one. He's kind of laughing it off on the mound, saying, my bad, that one just slipped. But yeah, that was 2 feet behind the back of Meyer.
That one nearly tabs Meyer again, although, no, that gets across the strike zone for strike one. Some nice break on that pitch by O'Connor. And I feel like after you have a pitch that goes behind the batter, you kind of have to just look down at your hand. Even if it didn't really slip, if it just kind of got away from you a little bit, you have to be like, okay, the batter has to know, and the umpire has to know that was not at all intentional.
Yeah, unless it was intentional, and
There's some
beef.
Probably be leaving.
Yeah, you might get ready
that
for a
one
charge at the mound.
chopped down the left side.
I like the swings so far the Doubledays have had here in this inning. Of course, DeCesare, got all of that one. Was on the back of the warning track before Paletto caught that one. I like Meyer's swing right there. I'm just trying to find a way to put these in play.
It's just about getting those lucky spots that the Doubledays were able to find in the first inning, where we saw players like Tyler Vivacqua and Adam Sullivan just hitting it into the gaps, finding those weak spots in the Pilots' defense. They haven't been able to find that recently. It's been either just a hit here or there, or 1, 2, 3 innings. Is that one going to be smacked out again? And that one also will drop into the glove of the Pilots' outfield. That's the center fielder, Paulie Goodness, who's flashed his net in center field. for the Doubledays, it's been Vivacqua showing out at second base. For the Pilots, it's been Paulie Goodness in second, snatching everything that comes his way.
Yeah, Goodness has had a lot of action here in the early part of this game. Auburn's been able to get a hold of some balls, just not able to find the ground and put them in play, get on base.
It's now Jed Stang Tregear up to bat for the Doubledays. Stang Tregear, another player for this Doubleday squad who got a hit in his first at bat. He had a nice blooper single. That one's outside for another ball. Stang Tregear, the third baseman out of Youngstown State, and got a few Youngstown State guys playing for the Doubledays today. As that one cracked on it, that will finally land out of the reach of the Pilots outfield, as the play will be easily made, just not able to get there in time as Stang Tregear gets a little greedy, maybe thought that hit, which looked like it should have been a double. He thought that it would just guarantee him free passage over there to second. The play easily made there. The tag out over at second to end the inning. So Stang Tregear gets a bit greedy. That'll send Auburn still trailing 4-1 into the top of the fifth inning. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. The Doubledays are back here in the top of the fifth inning. And after an inning-ending double play in the top of the sixth, it's in the top, in the top of the fourth. It's now the first batter, the leadoff batter in the Pilots lineup, stepping up to the plate in Paulie Goodness, the center fielder, who's been great out in the field and been great at the plate. Walked in his first at bat, singled in his second.
Also played a good center field so far in this game.
That one's going to be hit into shallow left center, and the play made there by the left fielder. A great play there by Tommy Kerwin, the Oswego kid, who gets under that. Goodness's ball just hung up there in the air for a tad too long instead of dropping fair.
We've seen some really good defensive plays made throughout tonight. Two diving plays, a diving play in right field, sliding catch right there in the left field from the Doubledays. Love to see the defense being able to lock back in after a few miscues to start the game. They've been able to have Elko's back here.
Yeah, didn't quite have Castile's back early on, but Castile also didn't really have their backs as he kept walking batters, kept giving up hits into the gaps. Elko, well, the fielding behind him has been improved. His pitching has certainly been a nice change of pace, not letting nearly as much contact go. As Elko falls behind in the count early, excuse me. Going way outside for yet another ball.
Elko on the mound likes to work quickly. He immediately pitching out of the stretch. He's ready to go.
And that went in there for strike one. A great pitch there from Elko. 85 miles per hour on the fastball. Just blazed it right past Spotto, who fouls that one off. for the second strike of the at-bat.
Good job.
Count now full.
Good job by Elko getting back in this count, originally down 3-0. Full count now. See what he can do with the payoff.
And the speed keeps coming there from Elko, but the accuracy diminishes. Couldn't get a third straight fastball in the strike zone. And that brings up Noah Brooks, the 3-hitter, with Spotto now on first base. Noah Brooks walked in his first at-bat, hit by a pitch in his second, so he hasn't had the chance to really flash his hitting abilities yet in today's game, as Elko throws it over to first, not able to get it to Albright in time to tag out Spotto.
That was the 7th walk given up by Auburn in this game, just something they need to clean up.
It's not sustainable as he throws it over there, bounces away from Albright. We'll say the connection between the pitchers and Albright this game hasn't been fantastic, but outside of that, Albright's had a great game, whether it's Vavakwa, whether it's Sullivan throwing to him, and whether it's even the third baseman in Stang Triers. That one's fouled off. Albright's displayed his glove brilliantly there, but on the pickoff attempts, it really hasn't had much success. As the pitch comes in and way outside for ball one. 1-1 count, one runner on base and then out on the board. Elko seems to keep going back to that 85, 86 mile per hour fastball. Is that one a bit slower there, but does find the strike zone, 82 mile per hour there, pitch there. That puts him ahead of the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That pitch comes in and does nab the batter. That's Noah Brooks getting hit for the second time this game, just showing his toughness, sticking in there, not really trying to get out of the way too much, just taking the hit right to the back shoulder area and getting 2 runners on base. That's Spotto on second, Brooks on first, Christian Butera stepping up to the plate. He had a triple at his first at-bat and had a similar situation as last time up with 2 runners on. Struck out that at-bat. Elko's looking to run that one back. Is that one a big swing and a big miss? A golf swing there from Christian Butera.
Butera wasn't looking for a triple, he was looking for a homer with that swing right there. Dangerous situation. First time Elko's facing Butera in this game. Gotta know, if Butera finds one he likes, he can give that a ride.
That pitch looked like Bryson DeChambeau trying to get out of the rough at the U.S. Open. As Elko readies for the pitch, ahead 0-1 in the count, and that one chomped on, and that's going to be hit to the left fielder. Tommy Kerwin comes down with it for his second catch in the outfield this inning. Just bookended it so far with the first and most recent out, bringing up the designated hitter Nick DiGiacomo, who has also walked in each of his at-bats so far.
Butera gave that one a ride, but right to Kerwin playing left field. Didn't have to move too much right there. Huge second out.
Both runners go, and it's fouled off by DiGiacomo. The double steal attempt looked like it would have worked. Dean Spotto really flashing his quickness there. Spotto, the best hitter on this Pilots team, and also an elite base runner.
See if Pilots go back to the double steal or going to let it rest this pitch.
And imagine now that Auburn knows it's coming, they're going to hesitate a little bit, and the hesitation is there. That's hit into right field and bounces off the bullpen wall for the second strike of the at-bat. And yeah, Luke, you were completely correct. They ended up not going back to it. It was just a bit of hesitation there.
Yeah, I wonder if that's kind of just a one-time thing, trying to catch Auburn sleeping right there.
Well, I don't think Auburn saw it coming at all. And now that they were ready for it, it just wasn't worth the reward. Oh, and the pickoff might be successful. not able to get there in time. The throw over to Vivakwa from Elko looked like it might have nabbed Spotto, who got caught slipping a little bit, but he slides in there. Spotto showing off his veteran base running abilities, managing to sneak under the tag.
I like Elko stepping off the rubber there because Spotto was getting a huge lead at second. Good job by Vivakwa. Close play, bang bang play, just not able to get the result.
Spotto looks like his hand's hurting a little bit as that one's fouled up to the right side. That's Stang Tregear getting under it for the final out of the inning. Auburn still trails 4-1, but they've held the Pilots scoreless in each of the last 3 innings. Now the Doubledays trying to not go scoreless for their 4th in a row. We'll be back in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ryan Story and Luke Backman here in the bottom of the 5th inning as the Doubledays trail 4-1 to the Newark Pilots. Troy Reeder stepping up to the plate for the Auburn Doubledays, who went down 1-2-3 in the last inning. DeCesare and Meyer both flew out, while Stang Tregear had a single but got greedy, thrown out at second as he tried to turn it into a double. That one fouled off from Reeder. Reeder hasn't had the strongest start today, struck out in his first at bat.
Again, though, for Auburn, I like the cuts they were taking against O'Connor in that last inning. Just got to find a way to put these balls in play. That pitch is going to be in there for strike number 2 to Reeder.
Reeder looking to avoid his second strikeout of the day. That one chomped on and going to be shallow left field for a single. A great blooper there from Reeder for his first hit of the night. Now it's Brendan Smith stepping up to the plate. Smith has had a very up and down game so far. He obviously had that big error in the second inning, but bounced back with a great diving catch in the field. He flew out in his first at-bat looking for his first hit of the night with a runner on first base here. That one catches the outside of the strike zone for strike 1.
And for Auburn, 3-run deficit, it's right there for you. You don't need to get it back all this inning. There's a lot of baseball left to be played in this game. Just try and get back, claw back 1 run at a time here in this game.
That one on the wrong side of the strike zone as it falls outside for ball 1. As the third pitch of the at-bat comes in. Still O'Connor on the mound for the Newark Pilots. That one swung on and missed for strike 2. O'Connor at 54 pitches. That one comes in and swung on. That's going to be another base hit for the Auburn Doubledays. Another single into left field. Something that they've excelled at throughout all their home games this season, just getting those easy pull hits into left field. That's a base hit for Brendan Smith, bringing up Tommy Kerwin, who got hit by a pitch in his first at bat with 2 runners on base, no outs on the board. A big at bat here for the Doubledays.
Kerwin against Newark on Monday had 3 singles, 2 of them were RBI singles, went 3 for 3, was also hit by a pitch in that game. So see the little quick meeting at the mound from the catcher. Newark, they know they got to be careful with Kerwin at bat here.
Kerwin certainly has a talent for just being safe, getting those consistent, easy hits. And he's a patient hitter. He doesn't really chase bad pitches, even ones that are right on the edge, as he looks to bunt there, but pulls it back. Still going to be called for strike one. He waits for the right pitch. He'll take a strike right on the edge of the zone if it sets up one right down the middle later on in the at-bat. As the Doubledays fans starting to get loud, and that's a blooper single into center field. That's going to load the bases. No, we're going to see an attempt at home, and he gets there. That is Troy Reeder crossing the plate for the Doubledays, getting their second run of the game to cut the Newark lead down to just 2 runs. So Auburn still with 2 runners on base, first and second, bringing up Caden Albright, the rookie, with no outs on the board.
That's what Tommy Kerwin does right there. Good job. Good work hitting. Just going right back up the middle with that one to cut this deficit. As we're going to see a pitching change here in this game.
We'll be back after a short intermission. So we've talked about how good Paulie Goodness has been playing in this game. Now Ian Goodness stepping on the mound for the Newark Pilots, replacing Jake O'Connor, who had a solid outing there for Newark, pitching nearly 5 full innings of work. But after his second run given up with still 2 runners on base and no outs, that's going to be Coach Marcus Smith of Newark deciding it's time for a change. That pitch outside for a 1-1 count. Caden Albright up to bat for the Doubledays. Goodness, a big guy, 6'4", 220, a junior righty pitcher. Originally at Finger Lakes Community College. As that one down there to third base, and the out is made. The great throw there from the catcher. Noah Brooks is going to nab out Brendan Smith, who's caught stealing. Now Tommy Kerwin's still stuck over there on first. Caden Albright over at the plate. So no runners in scoring position for the Doubledays anymore. Brutal mistake there for Auburn, who had the chance to really do some damage. Now their potential is limited as that one fouled down the third base line. That's going to force Kerwin to walk his way back over to first base after he would have had a very easy steal at second.
It looked like on that caught stealing attempt, Auburn was trying to put a bunt down at the same time. It just Albright pulled back on that pitch and left Brendan Smith really fending for himself, trying to get to third.
2-1 count, and that one gets the strike zone for a 2-2 count. 85 miles per hour on the pitch from Goodness. Goodness at Finger Lakes Community College, now going to be in the portal though, so his future is a little up in the air. What he does know is that he's going to be with Newark this season for the Summer League. A great bunt there from Albright, and it's going to keep going. Albright kind of looking off into the distance, but he's going to be able to take second with ease on the wild throw there to first. And an easy play there from Kerwin, showing his hustle to get home. What a turn it has been for the Auburn Doubledays, who have woken up at the plate. They get their third run of the game across to cut Newark's lead down to just one. A beautiful bunt there from Caden Albright that would have gotten both of them advanced without any outs, but then the throwing error just adds on to the damage done, and that puts a runner in scoring position on second base with the top of the Doubledays lineup back up. Tyler Vivacqua, who's 1 for 2 on the night with a triple and a ground out. He's up to bat. One out on the board, a runner in scoring position. The pitch comes in and right down the gut for strike one.
Yeah, on that last play, Goodness really didn't need to throw that ball over to first. Albright's speed was gonna be safe. He was already a foot away before Albright even made the throw. It was low in the dirt where the first baseman Decker could not pick that one. Really, it would have been better on all parties if Goodness would have just ate that one and lived to see the next batter. Obviously, he didn't, and for Auburn, they love to see that now. They scored a run and have the tying run in scoring position at second.
As Vivacqua fighting in this pitch count, 1-1 on the board. One out as well. Albright on second. He's someone who has some speed, could potentially take third if they need him to. But Brooks is going to be on high alert after the Doubledays have shown that they're willing to test Brooks. Now, Brooks has certainly done a good job with throwing runners out from time to time, but that has not scared the Doubledays at all as that one's fouled down the left side.
I think you'll probably see Albright stay put at second just for the fact that since he is the tying run, they don't want to see him get thrown out on the base paths. You know, he's in scoring position at the moment, but look for him probably to get a sizable lead off a second and be ready to take third on any ball in play other than one in the air.
As that's Albright dancing around there, and he's going to take third base. The shortstop throws it over and doesn't get there in time. Or he does get there. He is, can't tell. He is safe over there at first. For now, the Doubledays have runners on the corners. As the throw from shortstop Anthony Hector just couldn't get there in time. Runners on the corners with just one out.
We talked about Vivacqua's speed earlier in the game. Talk about it right there. A little dribbler to short. A lot of other hitters, that's going to be a ground out, but Vivakwa, with his speed, was able to beat that out. Runners on the quarter, and good job by Albright, immediately taken off for third, did not stay back at second. He's at third, 90 feet from tying this game, as that first pitch is in there for a strike.
Josh Thompson up to bat, behind 0-1 in the count. Thompson 0 for 2 on the night, looking for his first successful at-bat. The pickoff attempt futile on the throw over to first base. The Doubledays grandstand getting loud. They're getting hype behind this run that the Auburn Doubledays have built. Might be a double play there, though, as the 4-6-3 double play is good to end the inning. The tying run going to be stranded on third base as the Doubledays got some back, but still trail Auburn down 4-3 heading into the sixth inning. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball.
Luke Backman, Ryan Story here at Falcon Park as the Doubledays are able to close within one at the end of the fifth inning, 4-3 ball game as Eston Elko's back on the mound. He's going to face the lefty, Casey Wensley. First pitch is going to be low for a ball. Good job by Auburn getting back in this game, but Ryan, you got to feel like a little bit of a missed opportunity. Double play to end the inning with the tying run on third. Auburn's going to want to be able to make that up, or else they're going to feel like they left one out there.
It's just something you can't afford to do. Newark's been playing a cleaner game throughout the night. Auburn finally has the chance to tie it up, and just another mistake that you can't afford to have.
Swing and a miss right there from Wensley. It's funny, you look at the scorecard so far in this game. Obviously, Newark leading 4-3, 2-1 low, ball number 3 to Wensley. Newark leading 4-3, but Auburn out hitting Newark 9-3. They also have 2-1 lead in the errors categories. That ball is going to be low for a walk. And you know what? Auburn also has a lead in walks this game. Another leadoff walk to start an inning for Auburn. Just not something. That's a recipe for success. We've talked about this numerously. That was the 8th walk tonight. It's not sustainable for Auburn. Bunt shown here from the Pilots. They're going to pull it back as Jacob Paletto is in the box right now. He's going to pull it back for a strike, though. His count 0-1.
I have a bad feeling that at the end of the game, if Auburn can't make this comeback, then I think we're going to be talking about those walks as the biggest reason why Auburn just wasn't able to get back in this ballgame.
Absolutely. It's the Auburn defense and Auburn pitching just kicking themselves in the foot throughout the game. just giving free passes to the Pilots. That's going to be a ball. Good job by Cesaro. Able to that ball, but count now 2-1. 2-1 pitch. That's going to be hit on the ground. Foul, though. Count now 2-2. Got a good crowd tonight. They're doing the Macarena in between innings. The Doubledays gave them something to cheer for in this game.
The Macarena, one of the best between inning songs in baseball, right up there with the YMCA, I'd
Oh,
say.
100%. As that ball is spiked in the dirt, that's going to advance the runner to second. Just something, again, that's really been unforced from Auburn tonight. You're going to look back on this game if they're not able to pull out the win. Unforced errors. That wild pitch is going to advance Wensley to second. Count now 3-2 to Paletto. Runner already on second. Payoff pitch from Elko. They hit on the ground over to third, but on the left side of the bag, so it's going to be foul, and they're going to do it all over again. Dang Trigger at third base here. Gotta think, Macarena and YMCA. I feel like I'm missing a song. I mean, like a non-dance song in baseball. Sweet Caroline's up there. Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, that's certainly one of them.
There.
I'd take me out to the ball game, but that's a bit more
Yeah.
tradition than I guess in between innings, because there's only one inning can be played in.
What a pitch from Elko right there. The break had Paletto swinging and missing. A whiff on that pitch. Big first out in this inning. Huge first out as Jonathan Decker's going to come to the plate. He's 0 for 1, walked in the second inning, struck out looking. So he's going to take a look at that first pitch in there for a strike. Pitch is going to be fouled off. Count now quickly 0-2 as Elko. Since he's come in, he has not given up a hit. He's given up 4 walks, hit a batter, but the Pilots have not been able to register a hit off of him. In fact, the Pilots have not been able to register a hit since the second inning. That's going to be called time from Decker. Elko is already in the windup, gearing up to throw the pitch. So that pitch is not only not going to count, Wensley's going to retreat to second as he was on the move, that pitch. So see if, again, it happened last inning, if he'll stay at second or he'll try and take third base. 0-2 pitch from Elko. It's going to be just low for ball number 1.
I like the effort there. The breaking ball, missing the strike zone. Try to get Decker swinging at something that he maybe thinks will make it to the strike zone, but a bit low. That's a great attempt there from Elko.
Especially up 0-2. You got some pitches to play with. The 1-2 going back to the breaking pitch. That's going to be a strikeout looking. Back-to-back strikeouts from Elko as Jonathan Decker could only be mad at himself walking back to the dugout there. Saw it the whole way, just couldn't pull the trigger. Pitch on the outside part of the plate. Beauty of a pitch from Elko for the second out.
Elko's certainly ramping up. His momentum is just continuing to roll on into each inning, and now he's pitching the best baseball he's thrown all day.
100%, as that's going to bring up Anthony Hector, the shortstop. We're going to have a quick meeting at the mound from Cesare and Elko. Just going to talk about how they're going to approach Hector here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Runner on second in scoring position. Hector reached second on an error. The Doubledays back in the second inning and walked in the 4th inning. As Wensley stands on second, you'd have to assume with his speed, Elko's going to go back to second, actually. Try and keep Wensley there. I was going to say, got to think with his speed for Wensley, ground ball that leaves the infield, or a hit, excuse me, that leaves the infield into the outfield. He's going to try and attempt to score from second. Elko trying to keep him honest. First pitch in there to Hector is going to be inside for ball number 1. Oko sets, righties, and deals the 1-0 outside part of the plate for strike number one. Count now 1-1. 83 miles per hour on that.
Alco's did a good job of just freezing batters with his pitches.
Great mix as the 1-1 pitch is just right there. Great point of that one. That pitch was 73 miles per hour. The prior pitch was 82 miles per hour. He's really gone back and forth, gone into his bag of pitches throughout this outing. Originally was just going with the fastball, mid-80s. He's really dialed it up, switched around, kept hitters guessing. One strike away from getting out the sixth inning. 1-2. That pitch is hit in the air to right field. Smith is going to be under that one for the third out of the inning, as Auburn is going to come to the plate trying to tie this game or take the lead. The Pilots have a 4-3 lead. We'll be back right after this. Adam Sullivan, the shortstop, will lead off the bottom of the sixth. The Auburn Doubledays 1-for-2 on the night as Sullivan. His first pitch he sees, take a swing at it. Strike number one. Singled back in the first inning, grounded out to second. The third inning did Sullivan as the 0-1 pitch from Goodness, who's still in the game, is going to be swung on and missed. Again from Sullivan. Good hacks from Sullivan to start this at bat.
He certainly has the power that he hasn't flashed yet this game. He's trying to display it here, just hasn't made contact.
0-2 pitch is going to be checked up, and I say he didn't go. Tough break for the Pilots. Looking to check down to the base side, but the field umpire was on the first base side, the lefty Sullivan. Not a great look, but either way, Sullivan stays alive for ball number one in the count. 1-2 pitch, low ball number two.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought Sullivan went there, and I think Sullivan thought that he went there. He kind of looked like he was accepting getting called on the strikeout there, and apparently the umpire side he didn't go.
Pitch now high, count now full, 3-2. I agree with you, but gotta have a little bit of luck in baseball sometimes.
Hey, better to be lucky than good. Doubledays have been good most of the season. Let's see if they can get lucky in this one.
Count 3-2. Pitch fouled straight back. Will remain 3-2. Goodness in the game after taking over for Jake O'Connor, who went 4+, wasn't able to make it, wasn't able to register an out in the fifth, as that pitch is going to be outside. O'Connor loses Sullivan. Originally was up 0-2 in the count. He kind of gives a look back home towards home plate, thinking about that check swing that he was not able to get. Sullivan takes first.
And I like when pitchers use those extra balls that they have to try to toy with the batter a little bit, get that right strikeout pitch. But in that one, it just looked like he was doing a bit too much dancing around the strike zone. Had to just put one in there and waited too long to take his opportunity.
Totally agree with you. First pitch to DeCesare is going to be on the ground to third. Throw over to second in time. In first. In time to get DeCesare. That was a rocket hit over to third base. Terra was able to field it cleanly over to second, over to first. 5-4-3 double play. Quickly now, after that, 2 outs in the inning. That's exactly what Newark needed. And Ian Goodness on the mound as Sam Myers going to come up to the plate 0 for 2. Given 2 balls. Rides off the bat. Out to left and center field. Game. First pitch is going to be a ball. 1-0 pitch. That's going to be on the ground, over to short, past the shortstop Hector, into left field. So it's going to be a wide turn for Myers. He's going to go to second as the left fielder, Paletto, was slow with that ball. Great job there from Sam Meyer, who took a wide turn. First base, got to first base quickly, took a wide turn, saw Paletto being slow with that ball, threw to the shortstop Hector as the cutoff man just thinking, hey, we'll be fine. Meyer said, no, I'm going to take second. Just like that, runner in scoring position, 2 outs.
That's Meyer capitalizing on just pure laziness there from the Newark Pilots. You have to be vigilant in the outfield, and that's not what this Newark team just did.
This pitch fouled out of play. Out now 0-1 to Jed Stang-Trieger. He's had a successful day at the plate, 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Single here can tie this ball game. Crowd getting into it. 0-1. It's going to be a dribbler to second base. We're going to see if he can beat it out. Throw to first in time to get Stang-Trieger. Votto was able to recover. Was playing towards the bag. Got over to the dribbler in time. Fired to first to retire. The Doubledays in the bottom of the 6th. They are not able to tie the game. They'll come back out of the field. Top of the 7th. We'll be right back here at Falcon Park. Luke Backman, Ryan Story back here at Falcon Park as a new pitcher for the Doubledays is going to be Austin Droge on the mound. take on the Pilots in a 4-3 ball game here. Roj, seen him in center this year. We've also seen him on the mound. Had some successful outings on the mound. Looking to do so again here tonight. Keep this game close. Give the offense a chance to either tie this game or make a comeback, take the lead here in the coming innings.
Estonelko did exactly what was needed from him in a relief role. Just some fantastic work, not giving up another run after Colin Castile's rough start. Elko, I mean, we talk about his connection with the catcher into Cesare, but he's got a bit of connections across the team. You even look at his club baseball coach, Ben Albright. If that last name sounds familiar, Caden Albright, his first baseman, that's his dad.
There he goes. The second pitch to Boussard is going to be flown out to center field. Meyer's going to make the play for out number 1. Yeah, I think if Auburn is able to make a comeback here tonight, you'd have to have Elko in line for potential MVP, game MVP. Just the fact he was able to keep Auburn in this game when it looked like, hey, it might get out of hand, kept Newark at only 4 runs. Good job from Elko as he passes the baton off to Droge. His first pitch to Paulie Goodness is going to be outside for ball number 1. Goodness 1 for 2 tonight. RBI single in the second, walked in the first, and then flew out to left field in the 5th. Pitch fouled straight back. Count now 1-1.
We'll see how Newark does against a righty pitcher again. That was Castile as a righty starting off the game. Elko, the southpaw, and they seem to do much better against righty pitchers from what we've seen this year. We'll see if we can buck the trend. Auburn can.
Pitch lined out there to right field as Smith is not able to make the play. As we're going to see Goodness, he's going to third, stand-up triple. They're going to stop him at 3. I think that's a break for Auburn. I think he had a chance for a potential inside the park home run.
We could have been seeing a Little League homer there.
That's going to be an error on Smith, who just misplayed that ball in right field. Second time, kind of that in-between where he didn't know if he was going to go lay out and make the diving play for it or stop and kind of play it off a bounce right there. He tried to play it off a bounce, but was too late. Ball just skipped under his glove and all the way to the wall. Goodness with the speed easily into third. Lucky he didn't make it all the way to home. First pitch in there. It's Espada is going to be lined right back to third base. Great play by Stang Chagir. Caught it, dove back to third. Not in time, though. Goodness was not able to get a big enough lead where they could tag third for the double play. Either way, huge second out.
And that's where coaching comes into play for this Auburn Doubledays team. The infield came in there, and then the lineout just goes right to the moved up Jed Steng Tregear at third base. A great decision from manager Matthew Petrosi to have the infield move in there.
Now, 1 out away from getting out of this little jam here. Runner on third, already down a run. Don't want to give Newark any more insurance runs as Noah Brooks is at the plate, walked and been hit by a pitch twice in this game. Second pitch in this at-bat's high to make the count 1-1.
Brooks has done a good job this game of being patient, waiting for the pitch. Unfortunately for Brooks, the pitch has hit him most of the time that he's been waiting for. Hasn't gotten one over the plate yet.
1-1 pitch from Droge is going to be high. Brooks, bit of like a limbo move getting out the way. He's said, third time's not the charm. I only want to be hit by a pitch twice tonight. Count now 2-1.
He's like a magnet for the ball so far.
Droge sets on the mound. 2-1, 2 outs. Pitch inside for ball number 3. Now that one was close to hitting Brooks. Count now 3-1 though. Droge trying to get out of this inning.
Really don't want Butera coming up to bat next for the Pilots.
Pitch fouled off. Count now full 3-2. Butera had a bases clearing 2 RBI triple in the first inning. Not want to see him up again with a runner already at third. We were to be up. Runner on first as well. 3-2 pitch payoff. That one's drilled in the air out to left field as Kerwin's going back, looking up off the wall as he's going to get that ball into second. Not in time, as that's going to be an RBI double for Noah Brooks off the wall, high off the wall. So you got a lot of that pitch. 3-2.
That was the closest we've seen to a home run for the Doubledays at home this year.
That pitch was, I'd say, about 4 feet away from going over the wall as Brooks is going to get into second with an RBI double, extending the lead here for Newark to 5-3, bringing up Christian Butera, the runner in scoring position. First pitch is going to be high and inside for ball number 1.
The crazy thing is that was the first hit for the Pilots since the second inning. I mean, when we've seen Auburn more than double the amount of hits from Newark, yet still fall behind by 2 runs. It's crazy.
It's going to be lined over to short. Adam Sullivan makes the grab to end the inning, but not before the the Pilots are able to add to their lead of the Doubledays. Big insurance run here in the 7th inning to extend their lead to 2. It's now 5-3, Newark over Auburn, but Auburn's coming to the plate trying to start this comeback against the Pilots. We'll be back at Falcon Park right after this. Troy Reeder in the box and leading off for Auburn in the bottom of the 7th. They now trail in this game 5-3. Newark leads 5-3. His first pitch to Reeder is going to be in there for a strike.
It's been a hectic day in the outfield for Auburn. They need to just build that consistency on defense. Can't afford to have this many sloppy mistakes.
Yeah, we've seen some really good plays and some obvious errors in this game. As 1-2-3, Troy Reeder's going to go down swinging here to start the bottom of the 7th. That's going to bring up Brendan Smith. Had a single back in the 5th inning. Little infield fly to second back in the 2nd inning. First pitch from Goodness is going to be rocket over to first base as Decker isn't able to come up with the ball. Is there? Oh, good play by Smith. That ball was rocketed over to Decker. Decker wasn't able to make the grab. Ball got away from him. Was able to get to it, but then fumbled with trying to pick it up barehanded. As Smith got there. It was not able to get in time as Brendan Smith dove to be safe at first. Is there's going to be a pinch runner for Brendan Smith.
Actually, G. Martino, who got the hit, and that's number 16 stepping up to pinch hit. That's Johnny DeCerbo with Tommy Kerwin at the plate.
DeCerbo also plays right field. We've seen him play right field earlier this season, so a 1-for-1 switch, I will assume. Just have to confirm that when we get back into the field, as that brings Kerwin up to the plate. First two pitches he'll see will be 2 balls. Third pitch is going to be hit right back up in the middle, similar to his RBI single back in the 5th inning. This one will advance DeCerbo to second. Runners on first and second. Only 1 out here for the Doubledays.
Doubledays finally starting to garner that momentum that they've been badly in need of.
This is about the 3rd inning. 3 innings prior. This is the 4th inning now here in the 7th. That the Doubledays have been having good swings at the plate, making solid contact. Now, hey, they got to take advantage. The first pitch in here to Albright's going to be high for ball number 1. We started this stream of this game talking about keys, and I mentioned last night 15 batters were left on base. 15 players, excuse me, left on base for Auburn. These two, you have the tying run on first base. Need to find a way to bring them home here. Quickly, count is 2-0 to Caden Albright.
That's why I really like the decision from head coach Matthew Petrosio. I think he's made a lot of great decisions today to put a pinch runner in DeCerbo in for G. Martino. G. Martino, a great batter, don't get me wrong, fantastic batter, and even legged out that single right there. But in the grand scheme of things, he's not the fastest player in the world. I like getting DeCerbo in there. Just gives you that extra advantage in trying to get at least 1 run across here.
Absolutely, count 3-0. Pitch is going to be taking all the way as Albright in there for strike number 1. Count now 3-1 still. A hitter's count in favor of Caden Albright. Pitch inside. Ball number 4. Bases are loaded for the top of the order here for Auburn.
Big stage here for Tyler Vavakwa, the leadoff batter.
As we're going to see conversation on the mound, and we're going to see a pitching change. We're going to have more info for you about this pitching change when we come right back after this intermission. Back here in Auburn, talk about a moment Bases are loaded for the top of the order for the Doubledays. Only one out. Tyler Vivacqua is in the batter's box facing a new pitcher, Ethan Chavez, in this ball game. Vivacqua quickly is 2 for 3, triple to start the game in the first, and a infield single back in the 5th inning. Here in the 7th, 5-3 ball game. Vivacqua's first pitch he'll see from Chavez is going to hit him.
That's a big throw there.
Actually, no, the home plate umpire is going to say that ball hit the ground first. Vivacqua saying, hey, no, it hit me. I should be taken first. That's going to bring the home plate umpire and the field umpire together.
The Doubledays fans not happy about that one.
Doubledays fans want to see a run. They want to see the score 5-4. Oh, they're going to say that ball, no hit by pitch.
Matthew Petrosi just does not understand that call.
Neither do the Doubleday faithful here. They're wondering, why are we not seeing a 5-4 game and Tyler Vivacqua standing on first base? We're going to see him in the box with a 1-0 count here. Facing Chavez. Obviously not the first pitch he wanted to see. 1-0 count, short and second in double play depth. That pitch is going to be a little grounder. Over to second. Going to go to first. First baseman off the bag. The throw from Spotto brought the first baseman Decker off the bag. As a run is going to score, and Vivacqua is going to be safe. Score 5-4. What a costly error right there from the Pilots.
Just can't have that. Maybe that's baseball gods just bringing the karma. Should have been a hit by pitch. Vivacqua should have had his base anyways, and they end up getting it through the back door with Vivacqua getting there in the error.
Vivacqua, there was going to be no double play because of his speed. His speed caused Spotto to rush the play. Hit into center field. Tagging is the Doubledays. Cutoff man's going to be hit. Score tied over to third in time to get the runner. But
the run does score. That's big. That's huge for the Doubledays.
Adam Sullivan is able to score. Tie game, 5-5. Crazy bottom of the 7th. We'll be back to kind of summarize it. It's a new ball game. Here, we'll be back for the 8th inning right after this. Back here, top of the 8th. Let's talk about what just happened in the bottom of the 7th. Quickly, Doubledays tie the game. That last play, sac fly from Josh Thompson, bringing Tommy Kerwin into score. Tagging also was Caden Albright from second. The center fielder, goodness, hit the cutoff man over to third to get Albright. Hey, but the main thing is Doubledays tie this game at 5.
Both teams really performing well. The great base running by the Doubledays and great fielding by Newark.
That pitch from DiGiacomo is going to be lined into left field as the ball's going to be thrown in, but not before a DiGiacomo double here. First pitch of the inning off Austin Droge. Good job by Kerwin getting that ball in quickly, but not able to get DiGiacomo immediately. Runner in scoring position for Newark. As Casey Wensley comes to the plate.
It's been mostly quiet for Newark since that second inning, but they got a run in the seventh. That momentum might be carrying into the eighth here. That was a bit too quick there to see a double just there on the first pitch.
Wensley's going to take time after Droge on the mound. Was looking over the signs, didn't see anything he liked. Wensley is going to show bunt here. That pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Throw down, no throw down to second. Giacomo looked like they were trying sacrifice to get Giacomo over to third. Wensley pulled back. If you see on your screen, the first baseman Albright feels like he's at the same level as the pitcher. Vavaca is over, shading more towards first in case a bunt is down, so he can cover first and Albright can come in.
And even look at the position that third baseman Jed Stang-Tregear is in, where he still has to be relatively close in case the throw is over to third, but he's prepared to pounce on the ball.
Oh, that ball is ripped past Vavaca into right field. DeCerbo, the new replacement, is going to throw home, as that's going to allow the runner to go from first to second. Completely missed his cutoff. Is now quickly second and third. Nobody out here for the Pilots. Because of that shift, obviously not the shift that a lot of people think of, 3 fielders on one side, but the shift to have Vavaca over and Albright in. No one was able to get to that hot ground ball in between the two, leading for that ball to get all the way to DeCerbo in right field. As now the infield's going to come in knowing a ground ball. There's an opportunity. They got to go home to try and nab the go-ahead run as the first pitch to Poletto's going to be low for a ball.
Just a great hit by Wensley, finding the gap in this Auburn Doubledays defense because of the shift, as you mentioned. And just a heads-up play there from the batter.
Ripped foul, that pitch is going to be. Count now 1-1. Player from the bullpen. The Pilots are going to go retrieve that one, throw it in. Ripped off the netting was that pitch. Poletto in the box. He's 0 for 3 tonight. One pitch in the dirt. Count now 2-1. No outs here. So Doubledays trying to find some sort of magic to limit the damage or get out of this inning without anything. Take a lot as the 2-1 pitch from Droge high for ball number 3. First base is open. Little walks, that'd be a force at every base. You got to wonder if that's a possibility, but Droge is going 3-1, pitch high. Be exactly what it is. He's going to walk Poletto.
I'd like to see Petrosi go have a chat with Droge here, and it looks like he will be, but just you have to calm him down a little bit with the bases loaded.
I totally agree. Jonathan Decker to the plate. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts looking as the infield will come in and talk. Petrosi and Droge on the mound. Huge point in this game. I mean, this is a make or break time here for the Doubledays. I mentioned with the walk, now every base is a force out. So you'll see the infield playing in any ground ball. They're going to come home with it. See if they can potentially get a home to first maybe double play, double them up that way, or if Droge can find his way to strike out Decker, who's again already struck out twice looking here tonight, that could set up a double play to get out of this inning. But first, gotta find a way to get Jonathan Decker out here.
This is where snap decisions are important because you have to be able to determine within half a millisecond whether you're throwing home to nab the runner trying to take the home base, or if you're going to try to throw it over to second to get the double play. So it's about having that experience with guys like Sullivan and Vivacqua in the infield.
First pitch inside for ball number one. And one thing also for the Doubledays, see on the board here, if you're in the stadium, they already have 3 errors. Everything's got to be perfect here. Catch, the transfer, and the throw if you want a chance to stay in this ball game. 1-0's high, count now 2-0. Nowhere to put Decker. Rose looking to battle back here. Scores 5-5, top of the 8th. Bases loaded. Infield in, trying to nab the lead runner.
Droge can't afford to fall behind 3-0 in this count.
That one's high, count now 3-0.
A walk here would be devastating for this Auburn Doubledays squad.
Doubledays up 9 walks today. The 3-0 pitch from Droge, high, walked him on 4 pitches. That's going to bring home the go-ahead run to make it 6-5 Newark here at the top of the 8th.
You just can't have that. You have to at least throw pitches that have a chance of hitting the strike zone. But if you're that wild, you're not going to get a Newark batter swinging. Decker's not going to go for one of those pitches because they're not really close to the strike zone. That's just inexperience flashing there from the young pitcher.
Pitch hit in the air, out of play. So it'll be a foul ball and strike number 1. Anthony Hector, same situation. Now, obviously, the scores change. Same situation, no outs, bases loaded for the Pilots. Doubledays trying to find a way to get out of this inning with limited damage. Pitch, that one's popped in the air. Everybody's coming inside. It's like the catcher's going to make the play. Huge first out in this inning.
Just a massive play there because that brings the double play into even more of the equation where now you're not necessarily just going for home to not allow run scoring. Now a double play ends the inning, gets you there, and potentially if you only give up 1 run after loading the bases, I mean, you can't complain that much.
That would be exactly what Droge and the Doubledays are looking for. An inning-ending double play as the first pitch to Boussard is going to be inside for ball number 1. Droge still trying to find consistency in location. Boussard already ground into a double play to end an inning back in the 4th. 4-6-3. Doubledays trying to force that to happen again. That pitch is going to be down low for strike number 1. Good pitch from Droge, finding the lower part of the plate. Count now 1-1.
Love that pitch there. Just muscled it past him with a speed.
Droge readies and deals the 1-1 high. Count now 2-1.
Don't love that pitch though. If you're gonna be throwing those balls, get them near the strike zone, get the batter swinging. Boussard has shown that he's not the most patient of batters. Throw that breaking ball, try to catch him off balance.
2-1 pitch. One's going to be lined in the air to left field. That's going to be played on a bounce. 1 run's going to score. The relay is going to hit the cutoff man, so it's going to keep the other runners just moving up 1 base. But the damage is done as another run comes to score, making it 7-5 for the Pilots as Boussard is able to get RBI single here in the the top of the 8th.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for the Auburn Doubledays.
Tough inning for Droge, and it's going to be a heavy lift for the Doubledays new pitchers. We'll be right back with more information about who that is right after this quick break.
We're back here on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network, where Auburn trails by 2 runs with the bases still loaded. A pitching change as Austin Drudge takes a seat, brings up Ryan Paganellis for the Auburn Doubledays, his first action on Auburn this year, as he nearly clipped 90 miles per hour on that pitch, the fastest throw we've seen on the day from both teams. As that pitch comes in and just barely misses the strike zone. It's a 1-1 count. That one 88 miles per hour. Paganellis out of Denison University, where we've had an influx of players from there come to join the Auburn Doubledays. 4 or 5 players from Denison University joining the squad. Is that foul ball going to be the second strike of the at-bat? 1-2 count with 1 out. Paganellis getting ahead early.
Paganellis ahead in the count 1-2. Big situation, big count, big pitch to goodness in the dirt. Good stop. Try to Cesare make it 2-2. Newark leads 7-5 here, top of the 8th. 1 out. Auburn looking for a potential ground ball for an inning-ending double play. That one's hit over the... Oh, no! What a snag by Vivacqua. I thought that one was over his head. Able to snag it in the air for the second out of the inning. That would have scored 2 runs if that ball got over his head to the outfield. Tyler Vivacqua absolutely with a web gem and stealing a run away from Newark. What a play.
The play of the game right there for the Auburn Doubledays. Tyler Vivacqua has been excellent out there at second base, whether it's been his throws, his catches, and right there, what a beautiful snag there that nobody in the field thought he could make.
I think he caught. I think that was probably a snow cone in the glove. Just grabbed it by the end of the glove. But either way, it's an out, a huge out. First pitch to Spada was a strike. Second pitch is going to be a swinging strike from Paganellis. There's a little light at the end of the tunnel for Auburn, trying to escape, only giving up 2. Bases loaded for basically what's felt like the entire inning here for Newark. Trying to escape and give the offense some sort of life. 0-2 pitch high for ball number 1.
Paganellis has not slowed down at all. It's been 88 or 89 miles per hour on nearly all of his pitches.
Talk about bringing the heat. Assume that's what he'll go back to on the 1-2. That one's going to be hit on the ground over to short. Went with the off speed. Sullivan to second. In time. Good play by Sullivan and good job by Paganellis coming in and getting out of it. The jam as Auburn comes to the plate. Down by 2, 7-5, looking to make a comeback here at home. We'll be right back here at Falcon Park right after this. Back here in Auburn, New York at Falcon Park. It looks like we're setting up for a fun finish here. Newark currently ahead of Auburn. It's been a back and forth game. Auburn looking to respond as Newark put up 2 in the top half of the 8th, looking to try and tie this ball game or take the lead as the first pitch from Chavez to Adam Sullivan is going to be in there for a strike. Sullivan 1 for 2 on the day, had a single back in the first and walked in the 6th inning. Going to take that pitch and club it foul. Make the count quickly 0-2. Ryan, for Auburn, what do you want to see in their last, potentially this inning or the 9th inning? What do you think you need to see from them to come back and try and take this?
Well, obviously, base hits are important, and they're going to need those to come back in this game. But I just want to see no more mistakes that are easily avoidable. If they are able to get on base, don't make stupid base running errors. Don't be dumb when it comes to in the field making errors out there. Just play your game, play smart, and if you get the hits will come to you.
Absolutely, is the 2-2 pitch going to be hit, a little bouncer over to second. Spato's going to take it over to first in time to get Sullivan for the first out of the inning. Going to be a 4-3 ground out to get Sullivan. Going to bring up Anthony Cesare, the catcher, 0 for 3, trying to get on base for his first time here today. And back to Ryan's point, I think he's completely right. We've talked about the errors in the field, but also the base running mistakes. We haven't mentioned as much. First pitch to Cesare is going to be low for ball 1. Making unnecessary outs on the base path has cost Auburn throughout this game, as the 1-0 pitch is going to be hit in the air, foul though, over next to the clubhouse. Hopefully that one didn't reach to the cars over there.
Parking lot in danger with a batter like Cesare who can blast one all the way out there.
Huge swing right there from Cesare, not able to locate the 76-mile-per-hour pitch from Chavez.
Just swinging a bit too hard on that one. I get you want the runs, but at the end of the day, you hitting a home run isn't going to tie the game up. Just get on base, do nice smooth swings.
1-2 pitch in the dirt, low for ball number 2. Count now 2-2. Auburn needing to put good at-bats together. Back in this game, the 2-2 pitch is going to be low. Count now full 3-2. Good job by Cesare coming back in this count, originally down. The count 1-2. Working the count full here.
Cesare battling out a walk would be huge for this Doubleday squad that's in desperate need of base runners.
Chavez looks in. He readies. The 3-2 payoff. Gonna be fouled straight back. We'll do it all over again. Good job by Cesare staying alive here.
Just keep fighting. That's all he needs to do.
Make Chavez work. Looks to be some loose action. The Pilots bullpen. 3-2 pitch. It's hit in the air out to left center. That's going to be caught by Paletto, who was able to get a good jump on that ball. Running in, calling off the center fielder to make the second out of the inning.
At the end of the day, that's what you want Cesare to do. Find the pitch that he likes and capitalize on it. Wasn't able to get it to drop fair. Unfortunate for him, but that's what you want to see him do. Fight, battle, get that pitch, and turn on it. Just wasn't able to get it to land in the spot where he wanted it.
Sam Meyer comes to the plate, 1 for 3 on the night. As that one's drilled in the air out to left field, but Paletto's going to be there as well, ranging over to his right as the Doubledays go down in order, 1, 2, 3 here, down to their final 3 outs. They'll come to the mound trying to keep it only a 2-run game. We'll talk about what they can do to keep it that way. We'll be right back after this. Top of the ninth here is Ryan Paganellis back on the mound for Auburn. Had a very good outing, came in bases loaded, was able to get out of the jam. Flamethrower is going to go off speed. First pitch to Noah Brooks for ball number 1.
His off speed is the same mile per hour velocity as some of the fastballs we see from the other guys in the Doubledays bullpen.
That pitch, 84, going to be fouled off. Just barely got a piece of it. Was Brooks, count now 1-1. Fourth pitcher of the night for Auburn. Started with Castile, then Elko, then Droge, and then Paganellis. Is the 1-1's going to be hit out to right center. Going to be playing it on a hop is DeCerbo. He's going to get that into second. As Brooks is on with a leadoff single here in the top of the ninth.
All three of those pitches way below what we've seen from Paganellis earlier on in this game. You have to wonder if either his arm's getting a little bit tired or if he was trying to set up Brooks for a potential 2-strike fastball that was going to blaze by him. We'll see how the arm of Paganellis holds up.
Definitely something to keep a note on throughout this inning. Christian Butera at the plate here, as that one's going to be 88 miles per hour. So I guess there's your answer right there.
There's the speed we were looking for.
Absolutely blows it past Butera. Strike number 1.
Those fastballs have just been working so well for Paganellis. I have to imagine he relies mostly on those pitches throughout the rest of these at-bats.
0-1 pitch. He went on an 87 mile per hour fastball. No doubt about that one. Is Butera was not able to check his swing quickly. Paganellis up in the count, 0-2, trying to put away Butera.
This is where I like the breaking ball.
Definitely have some pitches to play with. 0-2, don't want to play too much, but I think a breaking ball would be a good choice. We'll see what he does here. 0-2 went back to the heater, but that one was low.
Just got a little away from him on that pitch.
Imperative here for Auburn to keep it at a 2-run game. You want to give the offense a chance, get one runner on. That means the tying run is at the plate. Keep it at a 7-5 ball game for the bottom of the ninth. Pitch high and inside. Went off speed there, 80 miles per hour. Count now 2-2.
My guess, he's striking right back here. I'm looking at a Paganellis 89 mile per hour fastball right down the gut to just blow one past Butera.
I like that. Pitch is exactly what you said, 88 miles per hour, but right down the middle of the plate as Butera was not able to catch up. Great call right there, Ryan.
He's Auburn's very own Aroldis Chapman. Just can beat you with his speed on his pitches. Even when Newark knows it's coming, they just can't touch the blazing fastball that Paganellis has.
Nick DiGiacomo comes to the plate, walked twice and doubled back in the 8th inning. Got the 8th started with a leadoff double. First pitch he sees from Paganellis is going to be outside for ball 1. DiGiacomo jumped on the first pitch in the 8th inning. Really set that entire inning up. Standing on second within a pitch for the 8th inning. That one's going to be rounded through the hole at second base. DeCerbo comes in quickly, keeping Brooks over at second base, only advancing one base. It's quickly now second and first. Pilots have runners. Casey Wensley comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3, had a single back in the 8th inning as well. Paganellis trying to keep it 7-5, little grounder.
That looks like it hurt.
Hit Wensley first, so it's going to be a foul ball as Wensley immediately went down. He's going to try and walk this one off. Trying to see. Doesn't seem like Wensley has any shin guards or extra protective here, so that one definitely, I'm not sure where that hit exactly, probably the lower leg. Gotta hurt.
Even if he fights through it the rest of his at-bat, he's going to wake up tomorrow morning and he's just going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to get out of bed today. I'm going to stay in there. I can't walk on this leg.
Definitely going to be feeling it in the morning and probably on the bus ride back to Newark tonight as he's back in the plate. Count 0-1. Paganellis ready's on the mound, deals the 0-1. That one's going to get behind DeCesare. Both runners are going to advance to second and third. I mean, this is what we talked about, just errors on part of the Doubledays costing them in different positions. We have runners on first and second, potential double play to get out of the inning if the ball's hit on the ground. That pass ball advances the runners, double plays out of there, and 2 runners in scoring position.
Still a big at-bat here. Of all the pitchers we've seen today, I think we can have the most faith in Ryan Paganellis to be the one to get a strikeout.
Would be huge. The count's 1-1. That one's hit in the air out to left center. Kerwin's going back. He's going to grab it. Runner is going to tag. It's going to be another insurance run here for the Pilots, extending their lead to 8-5. Sac fly from Casey Wensley is going to score Noah Brooks. Keeps Nick Giacomo, though, on second. He didn't get an opportunity to tag and go to third.
Just makes the Auburn's potential comeback effort in the bottom of the 9th inning all the more harder with each run that gets added onto it.
Jacob Paletto comes to the plate. That one's going to, sounds like a broken bat. Roller to second, Vivacqua over to first. No, they're going to say not in time. Paletto was racing down first. Field ump said no, he got there in time. Vivacqua, it was a real dribbler over to second. I thought Vivacqua fielded it cleanly, got it over to first. It was a bang-bang play with the field ump saying no. He beat it out for an infield single. That's going to bring up Jonathan Decker with runners on the corner. First and third. Ryan to add to this Newark lead. Paganellis trying to stop it. First pitch outside, ball 1.
Decker hasn't had the greatest of nights for the Newark Pilots. We'll see if he can finally start to capitalize on his momentum that he's garnered recently.
Decker's in the box. Paganellis on the mound. The 1-0 pitch in there for strike number 1. Crowd here at Falcon Park looking for something cheer for. Going to need a Doubledays win here. Runner on the move from first. Throw is not going to be down to second. Smart move. Fake throw from DeCesare. As Paletto's now on second. Runners on second and third here.
It's a good ego play from DeCesare. Hold on to the ball. I know you might think you can throw him out over at second, but it's just not worth the risk.
Absolutely, as that pitch is going to be high and outside. Count now 3-1 to Decker. Again, Paganellis trying to keep this game manageable. 8-5 ball game. Was 7-5 coming into the inning. Now 8-5, trying to keep it a 3-run deficit for the offense. The 3-1 pitch in there for strike 1. Strike 2. Decker thought it was ball 4. Home plate umpire said nope. Strike 2. Full count here.
And I don't think that a walk would be too terrible here for Paganellis. He gets the force out at every base. Obviously, you don't love the bases loaded, but it's better than giving a moon ball up.
That pitch is high and inside for ball 4, as it will be a walk, loading the bases. Second consecutive inning, the bases are loaded for the Pilots.
Paganellis got out of danger that Elko put him in last inning. Now, can he get out of his own danger?
Hector coming to the plate. Anthony Hector, the shortstop. 0 for 3. First pitch inside for ball 1. Nowhere to put Anthony Hector. Paganellis is going to have to face him and try and work his way into an out and get out of this 8th inning. Pitch outside, ball 2.
Said it earlier and I'll say it again. You can't fall behind 3-0 in an at-bat where you have the bases loaded. It just is not a good look, and it leaves you susceptible to easy hits or a walk that scores a run.
Pitch high, count now 3-0. Eerily similar to last inning, Jonathan Decker was at the plate, bases loaded, walked on 4 pitches, take a 6-5 lead for Newark. Anthony Hector at the plate, already worked 3 pitches, 3 balls. If Paganellis can come back with a strike. The 3-0 pitch high for ball number 4. That'll be another run here.
Hector was hyped up after that walk, chirping towards his own dugout.
Trying to get his team going. So that's going to bring in another run. We're going to see a mound visit. There is action in the bullpen. We'll see whether or not they go to it. Paganellis, he was able to really do great work in the 8th inning. Here in the 9th, got off to a very tough start. Single, then he got a strikeout. Another single, sac fly, another single, 2 walks. 2 runs here for Newark. It looks like we're going to stay with Paganellis. Mound visit.
I think it's the right move, despite being down by 4 runs in a game that still is winnable for Auburn. I don't think it's worth it to throw another pitcher out there. Paganellis, with 2 outs on the board, can certainly strike out a batter. His control needs to improve, and I think that's something that manager Matthew Petrosi needs to judge on the spot. But from up here, I'd at least let Paganellis stick in the game, try to get out of the trouble he's put himself in.
All the teammates give him a quick fist bump. They retreat back to their positions. Doubledays manager retreats back to the Doubledays dugout. Louis Boussard comes to the plate. He had an RBI single just last inning to extend Newark's lead to 7-5 at the time. Lead now 9-5. Paganellis trying to work his way out. Infield's playing back. 2 outs, force at every position. That one's going to be a chopper over to short. Sullivan over to second in time for the easy out. And that's how we'll end the top of the 9th. Doubledays will come to the plate for the first time at home in the bottom of the 9th. Down 4 runs, needing a big-time rally here to make a comeback. We'll see what the Doubledays have in store for us. We'll be right back after this. Auburn comes to the plate here, bottom of the 9th, again for the first time here at home. Perfect record at home is on the line. They come to the plate down by 4 to the Newark Pilots. New pitcher Brady King on the mound for the Pilots to try and close it out. Auburn is trying to extend this game. Jed Stang here is in the boxes. Immediately, we're going to have a quick conference on the mound just between the catcher and the pitcher.
Good veteran move from Brooks, chatting with King, who looked a little nervous. King's only had one outing this year for the Pilots. Big spot to be in because even just a little run can put all of the Newark Pilots in doubt of a comeback.
Absolutely. Just for Auburn, we got to realize one batter at a time here in the bottom of the ninth. Can't get it all back with one swing. Pass the baton to the next guy. Get on base and pass the baton. First pitch outside to Stang Tregear. Crowd getting into it. Let's go Doubledays chant breaking out. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Count now 1-1.
And that's what you just talked about, trying to get it back in one swing. We saw Stang Tregear nearly swing out of his shoes on that one, where he just needs to be putting it in play. Those singles and doubles add up after a while.
King on the mound, readies the 1-1. That one's going to be fouled, lined. Good cut there by Stang Tregear. Just a little bit late. Count now 1-2.
There's the fastest pitch we've seen this game, 90 miles per hour.
Whew. You've seen some heaters in the last two innings from these pitchers. Troy Reeder on deck. Gianni DeCerbo in the hole. Those are going to be the two other batters mandatory to face. Ground ball over to short. Hector is going to make the play, and it's going to be in time over to first for the first out of this inning.
The hits need to start racking up soon. Auburn can't afford to keep having these wasted at-bats.
Auburn now down to their last two outs. As Troy Reeder comes to the plate. Had a single back in the fifth, but other than that, struck out in his other two appearances. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Looking to just try and get on base. First pitch to Reeder down low for ball number 1. After a 2-run bottom of the 7th, Auburn has been quiet as that one's hit in the air out to left center. Both fielders on the move as that's going to be dropped as Reeder's going to go over to second. Play is not going to be in time. Reeder kind of slid in weirdly as he's going to call for time immediately as we could not tell if that ball dropped or not between Paletto and Goodness. Both seem not to really call each other off as Reeder didn't know either, kind of stopped halfway in between, went to second. Looks like he pulled up. He's going to talk to the trainer. He's going to come out of this ball game. He's going to need a pinch runner.
Obviously a great hit there, and hard to criticize the person who's somewhat limping off of the field, but you just can't slow down there and allow it to be a play at the plate. If it's a flyout, it's a flyout, and it looked like it might have been for a second, but you can't hesitate. You just have to finish the play, get to second, and then wonder if it was caught. Nearly got out because of it.
Looked like the fielders for the Pilots were even confused whether or not that ball dropped as the Doubledays looking to find a pinch runner to substitute.
That's Bobby Hard from Denison University in his first action as an Auburn Doubleday.
Just added to the roster today. As Gianni DeCerbo is going to be at the plate. Runner on second. 1 out. Again, the runner on second, if you're Newark, you're thinking, hey, he doesn't matter. For Auburn, you're just trying to piece together some good at-bats. First pitch, low to DeCerbo for ball number 1.
There's no consolation prize for getting one run across. You need to be able to put up multiple. DeCerbo needs to get on base here. And honestly, there's not many players I'd rather have up to bat than Johnny DeCerbo, who shows up when it matters most.
Cut on and miss from DeCerbo. Count now 1-1 here. Crowd getting a little chant going. The 1-1 to DeCerbo. Going to be hit on the ground over to short. Hector's going to make the play over to first in time. Field what agility. He got out of the way of that one, but it looks like he's down on the ground with an injury himself.
He could be down for a while.
Yeah, that ball was hit directly at him. It looked like he was managed to get out of the way of that, but might have turned something trying to dodge that. He's trying to extend that right leg as we see trainers for both teams go out. The field ump is going to try and walk it off. He knows there's only one out left in this game. He's not trying to prolong this game any longer. Kind of pointing at his right knee. He says, hey, no, I'm good. Shortstop Hector goes and gives him a pound. Says, hey, I can only assume he's saying, hey, way to get out of that. Get out of the way.
It's not often you'll see an umpire get some applause from the crowd. Normally, they're the first ones to be booed.
Thankless job being an ump, but even the crowd realizes, hey, if you get up from an injury, we're going to give you some love. Tommy Kerwin comes to the plate. First pitch, swung on and missed. Runner on third, but that's inconsequential right now. As Auburn is down 4, going to need one heck of a rally in this ball game. 0-1 hit in the air over the third baseman. His glove, that's going to find its way to left field. Scoring one. Kerwin's going to take a wide turn around first, knowing that he can't risk getting thrown out at second. He's going to retreat to first with a single and an RBI. Make it 9-6 here in the bottom of the ninth.
Big hit there from Kerwin, who's a young guy but plays like he's been a veteran for years. Another guy who's young but plays like a veteran, Caden Albright, stepping up to the plate now.
Kerwin, third hit of the night. He's 3 for 3, 2 RBI singles. First pitch here to Caden Albright is going to be inside for ball 1. If you're Auburn, you're thinking, hey, if Albright's able to get on, that's going to bring the tying run up to the plate in the top of the order in Tyler Vivacqua. That pitch is going to catch the outside part of the plate for strike number 1. Count now 1-1. Albright had an infield single himself back in the 5th inning, walked in the 7th inning of this ball game. 1-1 pitch, low and outside for ball number 2.
Good patience there from Albright. Not getting aggressive, not getting greedy, just waiting for the right pitch to come.
Counts 2-1. Pitch from King. That's going to be called a strike. Albright looked to check his swing. I think the ump was saying, hey, that's a strike no matter what. Didn't even matter about the check swing. So now Auburn is down to their last strike. Pitch from King is going to be called strike number 3 on the outside part of the plate to get Caden Albright looking. As Auburn is going to fall at home for the first time this season. 9-6 from Newark. It was a really good game. Both sides came to play tonight. Newark able to score 5 runs in the last 3 innings as they will take the win here at Falcon Park. Ryan, good matchup between these two. We've seen some close games and we've seen some blowouts from these two when they've matched up against each other. But tonight we saw a what seemed evenly matched game. But Newark was able to take the win in the end. What do you think contributed the most to Newark winning and the Auburn Doubledays coming out on the losing end here tonight?
I think it was just Auburn hurting themselves. It started in the first inning with the walks by Colin Castile. It continued throughout the rest of the game. The walks, as I mentioned, we were going to talk about at the end of the game earlier, the walks were big. It hurt Auburn throughout the game. It consistently was a pain in their butt that they just couldn't get past. And once you add on the errors with players like Brendan Smith, who had an up and down game in right field, had 2 big errors that allowed runs to score. There were base running mistakes. There were pitching mistakes, fielding mistakes, all across the board. There were errors that just couldn't be made. And Newark certainly didn't play a clean game. They had plenty of mistakes on their end too, but they played closer to clean, and that's why they had more runs despite having significantly less hits than Auburn.
I think you hit it on the head right there. Mistakes from Auburn, the errors both defensively and offensively, whether that be base running, really just hurt them throughout the night. And then, of course, as you mentioned, of course, the walks. I think if you're Auburn, you're probably looking yourself in the mirror saying, I think we lost this game more than Newark won this game. And so they know they're going to see Newark plenty of times this season. These two have shown that they can play some really close games and tough games against each other. I'm looking forward to the next one they play against each other. For Auburn, they're on the road tomorrow against the Niagara Falls Americans. What do you want to see from them to be able to bounce back after this performance?
I'd like to see the young guys continue to step up. We've talked about Tommy Kerwin, who's been great recently, had 3 hits in today's outing. Just a fantastic game from him. Players like Kerwin, Vavakwa, Albright, all have shown up. They were the bright spots in a dark loss today. So if those guys can continue their momentum into the coming games against Niagara Falls, I'd love to see that. And I think it's a great sign for Auburn the rest of the season if they can.
Absolutely. That game will be tomorrow. First pitch at 6:30. That's on the road. If you want to come visit us here at Falcon Park, we will be back on Friday at 6:30 against who else but the Niagara Falls Americans. Little back-to-back home and home for the teams as Auburn will be back at home on Friday. Appreciate everyone who is subscribed and notified. Hit 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube, so make sure you press that notification button so you know every time Auburn goes live with a game, you can tune in and watch. It's been a fun season. Auburn unfortunately takes their first loss at home here tonight, but will be back tomorrow on the road and then Friday here at home. I'm Luke Backman, Ryan Story, my partner. We've had a great night here tonight. We'll see you back here on Friday. Have a great night.
Have a good one, everybody.